This is Ryan Smith coming to you from the Reichstag.
We are here at Charité University Hospital.
Coming to you from the Roots Rathaus. We are here at Olympia Stadium, Berlin.
One of the largest hospital systems in all of Europe.
From federal government to local government, it's Extreme Network that connects them all.
All of this powered by Extreme Network. Hello and welcome to Extreme Connect Live. My name is Ryan Smith.
I'm Amy Aylward.
And we have a wonderful show for you today. We are recapping everything from day 2 of Extreme Connect. And I got to say, it was as good as it was yesterday.
It was almost even better if that's possible. I think people are just feeding off the energy of the show, off of each other, of what they're hearing, what they're learning. And you feel that as you're walking through the hall and as you're in the main stage.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and once again, this is a huge show, and that means this show has big announcements, and we're going to get into that just in a few minutes. So stick with us.
Yep. And why don't we tee up what's happening on the show today? We've got a number of great guests joining us. We have Joachim from Living Tomorrow, who's going to be up here with us in a few minutes, talking about this amazing venue that they have, where they're setting up, testing, basically building the future of all the technology we're going to see by 2030.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got Christy Nikolakopoulos here with us. I see you're like, all right, we'll give him
names.
And she's going to talk to us about Extreme's Day of Giving and some of the things that we've done with the Special Olympics.
Yep. And then we're going to kind of bring it to Dan DeBacker, who is our SVP of products, the man behind all this great innovation. He's had a busy week. He's had a busy few months leading up to this. The reaction from the folks here are very excited about what we've announced and all the hard work that he's put into that. So we're going to talk to him a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then stopping by yesterday was one of our X Factor winners. His name is Christian Frummel, and he's from Charité University Hospitals.
Yep. And then we're going to talk to Joe Vitalone, our CRO, to talk a little bit about what is it like out there on the front lines right now. There's never been a better time to be in networking. The network is one of the most strategic assets of any organization. So he's going to talk to us a little bit about what does that look like when we're having those conversations with customers? How are they thinking about the network as part of their operations, as part of what they do?
Yeah. We've also got Stephen Garrett, and he's coming from Regato, one of our big partners as part of our Extreme Alliances program.
Yep. And then we are going to close this with Kimberly Bass-Knight, our Chief Diversity Officer, to talk a lot about, what you see here, what you feel here is largely a part of what we've built as a culture at Extreme. And to be able to share that culture and that feeling and that trust with all of our customers and partners is largely in part to the culture she's built at Extreme.
Absolutely. But before we get into our first guest, we've got a little bit more from an interview that we did yesterday.
Yeah. So I spoke to our CEO at MyRecord yesterday. We saw part of that interview, but we're going to take it to part 2 today, where he talks a little bit about why is Extreme winning in the market? What is it about our company and our business and our innovation that makes customers want to do business with us? So we're going to go to that video now, see what Ed has to say, and we'll be back.
So the network is highly intelligent today.
There's nothing that doesn't touch the network these days.
And there's practically nothing that doesn't touch the network. So from that standpoint, it really puts networking in the forefront. And in terms of driving change, in terms of all these industries and our customers' digital transformation initiatives, they all involve the network. And again, given the kind of the new tools we have, it's an exciting time to A, be in networking, and B, to support the initiatives that all of our customers have. Mm-hmm.
And I think, what a testament to the growth of our business, what you just talked about, that ability to help kind of customers innovate, that making the network a strategic asset. And we're seeing that in the financial results of the company, right? We're growing.
We're taking share. Some of our competitors are making it easier for us. I don't know if we want to venture over to that side of things, but the fact of the matter is, and we heard this on Influencer Day. Mm-hmm.
One of the analysts said, if you're gonna make a change, there's no company better than Extreme
to make it easy if you want to make a change to your networking provider. And so more and more people are deciding that they'd like to consider a change. And then they find out about Extreme and they realize, hey, Extreme is a totally different company. Like, they have really innovative technology. They've come such a long way, and they give us a shot. And then we get into a competitive process, and we're winning more and more. So, yeah, when you win more business, that's good for business. It's good for growth. It's good for the top line. And my message to everyone tomorrow is going to be, yeah, we have all this great growth, record profitability, record cash flow, never been in a stronger financial position. But what does that really mean? It means we have money to invest. And we have money to invest in innovation, R&D, and growth. So we will be increasing our investment in our technology spend, at a level that we've never seen before. And I know a lot of people are excited about that.
Yeah. I think we say, we're not the status quo networking company, right? A lot of those companies out there are. We have separated ourselves by being the innovator in the market, and we'll continue to do that.
That's right.
All right, closing thoughts, Ed. What are you most excited about the next couple of days?
Just spending time with our customers and partners and being in Germany. So this is a great place for us to be, and it's important for us to be in Europe. When we think about Extreme and our business, over half of our business is outside the US. Over 40% is in Europe. And then within Europe, 40% of our business is in Germany. And
Perfect.
if you go back to our history, we have 25 years of history being here, and some of our longest standing customers, strongest partnerships, and employees, quite frankly, are here. So this is the highest market share country that we have as a company. So it's great to be here.
Makes a lot of sense to be here.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for your time today. Enjoy the rest of the event. I know we'll be getting energized by all the great stories.
You're going to have fun. You're going to have fun. You're going to have a lot of energized people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Ed. Thanks for joining
Amy.
us.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was a wonderful video. And now we are sitting here with the co-chair of Living Tomorrow, Joachim de Vos. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Ryan.
All right, well, it's an exciting thing to hear what was announced today. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So, Joachim, tell us a little bit about Living Tomorrow. Let's start there.
Well, together with Frank Bellion, my partner, we started Living Tomorrow in '95 as a house of the future, and the idea of really giving people an immersive experience about tomorrow. So that house of the future was the idea to have it once for 5 years, but we rebuilt it, the whole platform, every 5 years. So now it's the 7th generation that we're building, and that's quite amazing. So the future is changing rapidly.
Tell us what we can expect to see, because I believe this opens in just a month.
That's
the new
the
place.
technical opening. That's
Yes.
mid-June. For public, it will be the end of September. And for the next coming 5 years, it will be the main European innovation platform and demo center of innovations in a house of the future, office of the future, healthcare, smart cities, smart buildings, anything. So you can expect a lot of things that are today on the market but needs explanation about what's the innovation behind it. But on the other side, there will also be some new things that we haven't seen before, like 3D, 4D avatars with artificial intelligence that are really a kind of a companion in your home, in your kitchen of the future, whatever. So yeah.
It's crazy to think something like, FaceTime was not a reality, 15 years ago. And now we're talking potentially holograms, right? An actual physical almost being showing up to have a conversation.
Yeah, indeed. We see all things moving from 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions. Think about the printing to 4 dimensions. And that's getting interesting. And I know that today we talk already a long time about artificial intelligence and smart agents and things like that. But now with ChatGPT, people are really getting aware, having an intelligent conversation with technology. So mix both together and you see the future already happening.
It's amazing. Can you talk just a little bit about the partnership with Extreme? Because we're going to have a presence in this Living Tomorrow Center. And why Extreme? Why did you choose Extreme as a partner?
First of all, it won't even be just a presence. It's really an in-depth collaboration, because for the first time in all these generations of Living Tomorrow, the complexity, let's say, and the necessity of connectivity is so high. Anything in this world is connected. And we're not even talking about tomorrow, where everything needs to be instantly available. And we don't want to wait anymore. We want it all, and we want to have it right now. And therefore, we need partners who know it better than Living Tomorrow does. Because indeed, we work with 100 companies bringing the latest of their technologies, and all of these things need to be connected. Our building has over 1,300 sensors.
Wow.
It all need to fit into a real-time digital twin. So therefore, you need connectivity. Therefore, you need partners who know how to do that. Therefore, Extreme.
Great. Well, I want to segue to some of the things that you talked about up on the stage today. So you have a book, Why Innovation Fails, and one of the most alarming things that came up today was that if you look at sort of how companies are spending their time, only 6% of the time is actually spent on strategy. The other pieces are, operations, finance. Why is that a big mistake?
Well, it was based on the research that triggered me really to write this book, and why I see innovation failing in the more than 1,000 companies that we worked with. Some things are succeeding, fortunately, but we learn more from the things that fail. If you only spend 6% of your time on strategy, that's thinking 6% of your time and efforts about how to stay relevant for the future. And that was also an important part of the research, not the time that we spent, the 6%, but they looked afterwards over the time span of 10 years, 10,000 companies, where it went wrong. What was the reason that it went wrong? And you saw that only a few percentages was about all the other stuff, but 86% was due to strategy. So there's an unbalance about what we spent to strategy, or what we think we spent to strategy, and what strategy would really be. No one has 86% time to think about strategy. So if you do it, you should do it wisely with the right tools and the right things. So that's what my book is all about.
Excellent. Ryan, I know you had a few questions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things when you're talking about strategy, you were talking about the fact that we need to it needs to become almost like a culture where everyone is taking a part into the strategy, providing the feedback loop, and things like that. So, what are your thoughts on just how pervasive strategy needs to go throughout the organization?
Strategy is really a culture. You need to have a culture that allows also to innovate. And so both go together: culture, innovation, strategy. And that means that it cannot only come bottom up. It cannot only come inside out. It should be top down and bottom up at the same time, because the worst thing you can do is that you activate all of your people in the organization, but there is no structure to bring it upwards and to really translate it into successful products, what innovation is really all about. And the second thing is, it should not only be done inside out with your own people, it should also be done in contact with the outside world, because there things are happening that you do not have under control. So it needs to happen outside in, top down, and bottom up at the same time.
Wow, that's from every direction. That's multidimensional. So, we're talking about innovation. I think this is a good opportunity to talk about how technology has grown at an exponential rate. So,
yeah, one of the things you brought up on stage today was that, there's more computing power every hour now used than there were from 1900 to 1990, I believe was the time frame you gave. So in 90 years, there was as much as there is in an hour now. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Imagine how lucky we are that we are born now, because in 1 hour time, the whole thing is progressing more than a whole generation before us. Now, that means, of course, we're flexible as human beings. We need to adapt. But technology is going faster and faster and faster. And really to understand this and to bring value to the organization, to make innovation succeed, it's so important that all the people that we meet here today that are responsible for technologies within their organizations, they understand what the future possibilities are. They have to translate that to the top of their organizations to make them aware about the possibilities, not about the threats, not about the limitations, but about the positive outcomes that it could have. And that's then the reason why you should invest in strategy and innovation to stay relevant in the next coming 10 years.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that really stuck out to me is the formula that you developed, because the formula takes into account not only how you activate and think of strategy and how you push forward innovation, but the friction that exists that could hold the advancement back. So talk to us a little about the formula that you developed.
Yeah, the future fitness formula. So the question is your company future-proof? That's one of the questions that I always get from people when I talk to them one-to-one about their own organization. Do we have it in us to be future-proof? Well, I thought, let's create something that can bring some wisdom and some courageous discussions within the organization. So the future fitness of an organization, that's in fact how I defined it. The vision that you have, if you don't have a vision, you have a problem, multiplied by the speed of implementation, multiplied by the agility, because you cannot do everything right from the first way. You should adapt to things that are happening. But it's divided, and now it comes, by experience. So yeah, that means that when you're very long in an organization, like I do, I'm 27 years at Living Tomorrow, am I the weakest part of the chain? Could be, because maybe I'm the first naysayer saying, no, we shouldn't do that because we already tried it 20 times and it won't work. No, I'm sure this will not work. And that's the wrong attitude, because we're living in very, very turbulent and uncertain times. And that's what I also said. This formula can only be used in tuna times. And tuna is the terminology for saying it's turbulent, it's uncertain, things that are happening are totally new to the world, never seen before, and it's ambiguous. It's everywhere, the change. So in times of change, be aware of the future fitness.
All right.
We have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, I guess, right? I think we've all gotten good at that over the last couple of years. Well, one more thing before we show the book here. I just wanted to say, I think it's remarkable that not only are you living tomorrow, but you're living tomorrow, you have a self-driving car as well, right?
I do.
You're living and breathing the tomorrow right now.
I do. I try to drive the car as autonomous as possible and allowed by the law here in Europe, from my home in the morning to the office in Brussels, and that goes quite well. And you see it even evolving, because that's also part of the new technologies, that technologies are updated very frequently. We get all the time these updates. So the cars, the intelligence is learning from what we do, also from our mistakes. And that's the future for all of the products.
Great. Well, thanks so much for your time, Ryan. If you haven't got the book, check out Joachim's book, Why Innovation Fails. I wanted to make sure I got the title right. It's available on Amazon. It's very, very interesting. A lot of great research, a lot of great data in there about, how to think about innovation and how to make sure that you're always sort of testing yourself.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us today.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right. Oh, okay. Well, we are going to now let's think about some of the one of the things when we have at an event like this is that we've got a lot of customers. So
Sure do.
Ed was talking about the fact that we should absolutely have our customers tell our story through their experiences. So let's look at a video that talks about some of the customers that that called Extreme their partner.
All right. Let's see it.
All right. Well, the best part of this video is that it says extreme is everywhere. And that's actually it. One of the cool things that that Ed did was talk about you could take a trip from Las Vegas to Paris and have a whole experience in Paris and never leave an extreme network. So that's a pretty amazing thing.
It's true. Yep. And I think we're even feeling that this whole show is actually running on Extreme.
Absolutely.
This live stream right now is running on Extreme. So we are everywhere. We believe in what we do, and we drink our own champagne.
Absolutely. And so what we don't just, we're not just an organization that's out there helping our customers. We're also an organization that's out there giving back. And we've got Christine Nikolakopoulos here, and she is going to talk to us a little bit about some of the work that we're doing for our Day of Giving, where that came from, and some of the things that we've done here at in Berlin. So Christy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
All right. Well, one of the things that we've done, and this is, I don't know how many years we've done this, is had a Day of Giving. I think this is maybe our third or fourth year.
It's our third year. It's our third year of our Day of Giving, but Extreme has been in business for 25 years, and we have long held a culture of giving. And one of the things that we did when we launched our CSR movement, our corporate social responsibility movement, is we took a look at philanthropy as one of the components of that, and how can we operationalize that and make it something that is part of what we do every day. And so over time, we concluded, let's launch a Day of Giving. We originally kicked this off in commemoration of our 25th anniversary, and this is our third year going. So very exciting.
Can you talk a little bit about, so yesterday was the Day of Giving, and for the folks here in Berlin, we all went over to Olympia Stadium last night, supported the Special Olympics, which is going to be held there in a few weeks, did some laps of the track, made some donations, but it was more than that. So can you just talk a little bit about the work with Special Olympics, and then what happened in the rest of the world around our offices?
So I'll start with what we did around the world. So on our Day of Giving, we deploy giving captains. These are people in the company that have day jobs, but take time. It takes months and months of preparation to arrange a giving event for employees that are located nearby. So we had 35 giving captains, 50 events around the world in every place that we do business. And folks walked in Ireland in our Shannon office. They walked for the Irish Cancer Society. In our Salem, New Hampshire office, we gave to the Lazarus House, which is a homeless shelter and food pantry. We also partnered with Harbor Networks, and we worked with Live To Communities, which is an elderly residential facility. And they came in and they read to the elderly and spent time and played games. And we did this in all pockets of the world. It was truly amazing. And then here at Extreme, as many of you may know, we are committed to the digital divide. And technology is really very important in enabling accessibility. So it was one of the reasons we looked at Special Olympics as a charity. Special Olympics is focused on people with intellectual disabilities, and connectivity really brings together community and inclusivity. So it's aligned with what we do as a business. Also, we're very into sports, as everyone knows. We've got the NFL and the NHL and MLB and Manchester United and Liverpool. So the list goes on. But Special Olympics ties to that. And Olympia Stadium is our customer. They are going to be the host to the World Games in Berlin in just a few weeks. And we're providing the Wi-Fi for that arena. So the synergy was there. It was really just, let's get behind this organization, the Special Olympics, and raise money for them in a stadium where they're going to be. It was really tangible for us, but also, as I talked about, we have a culture of giving, and there's just beautiful global opportunity to participate and work with folks. So what we're going to do is roll out training, inclusivity training provided by the Special Olympics to our global leadership that will play out with our partners, with our customers, with the work that we do every day. And then also we're going to make it so that people can get involved. So we're going to raise awareness of the different ways that you can spend time with people with intellectual disabilities, teaching them sports, just cheering them on. It's a very compelling organization. So we're really excited about that. And we were able to raise $80,000 for this organization, which in some, it may sound small in corporate terms, but it's very meaningful for an organization like the Special Olympics, where they apply those funds directly to getting kids to the games. So it's really great. And thank you to everyone who participated. It's really great. It's really exciting. I think we had 1,000 employees participate, and we're just still gathering stats and figures, but we'll report out to you guys.
All right.
Amazing. And it's all the work you've done. It's such an important part of our culture. We're going to talk to Kimberly later, but doing that, being a part of that last night felt special. And it's why we all love being here. You know, it's more than just being a networking company. It's about being a company that cares about, you know, humanity, essentially. So thank you for all your efforts in driving that.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk about it. Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well,
Thanks, Christy.
Yeah, thank you so much. One of the things too is that we talk about the fact that it is a cultural thing, that this is part of the DNA of Extreme. And, you know, and so that's something that's very powerful to me is what was said yesterday at the event by the Special Olympics is the fact that, you know, we should, as we have our anniversaries, as we think about when we show ourselves out into the public, how can we be inclusive and bring people who are from the community out in with us so they can be a part of that. So we've got Rowan. He's out getting real-time reactions from the audience. So let's kick it over to Rowan and see how things are going. What's the energy like out there?
Hi, I'm down in the main area, just outside the main session. This morning's session's just finished up, and I thought I'd catch up with a few people to see what they think. I'm here with Oral. How are you, Oral?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Whereabouts are you from, and who do you work for?
I'm with Infinigate Germany from Munich, and yeah, so I'm doing business development there.
And we just came out of the main session this morning. What did you think?
I found it was very interesting. I mean, especially Joachim's keynote on innovation and why it sometimes fails. It shows that if you don't think about enough what's going to happen in the future, it's going to be surprising to you what happens in the end. So it's good to stay ahead, and I think most people here actually are doing that every day, and it's a good reminder to think about that.
Would you ever go to the Innovation Center in Brussels? Is that something you'd like to go now?
Yeah. I'm glad, or I'm sad that I missed it last time I was there, actually, yeah.
Okay. What else? Anything that you would take back to the office, talk to your colleagues about when you get back to work next week?
Ed allowed us to be tougher on everybody from Extreme about features we want, so that's what we're going to do.
Okay, fantastic. All right, Earl, really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the show. Okay, back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Rowan. This is great to have all of that excitement. And so one of the things that people are excited about is what's going on in the demo hall. And so one of the people that we wanted to bring was Dan DeBacher to talk a little bit about what's going on there. What are we doing in the demo hall? So Dan, thank you so much for joining us.
Yep, glad to be here, Ryan. A lot of excitement. Biggest demo hall we've ever had at Connect. 40 different stations, 10 different partners. We've brought experts in from around the world. We're showing every product. We're showing every solution. And the buzz has just been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
That's great to hear.
Dan, I know you've spent a lot of sweat equity over the last couple of months getting ready for this show, getting the products ready to launch. How does it feel to get it out the door? And talk about some of the reactions that you're getting down on the floor.
It feels great. It is. It's been a tremendous amount of work. The TME team has just done a phenomenal job getting everything here, getting everything going. And the reactions from the attendees has been absolutely positive. Everybody very engaged, whiteboard sessions, deep discussions, things that people didn't know that they're learning here, seeing it live and in person. It's so much better than on a PowerPoint.
Absolutely. We just talked to Joachim about innovation, and a lot of what we've announced here at the show is leading the market. We saw, up on the stage yesterday, Nabil show all the places we've been first, Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 6E. Now it's Extreme Cloud Edge. So can you just talk a little bit about that and sort of what that means for the industry?
Absolutely. Another first for Extreme, bringing Extreme Cloud Edge, the cloud continuum. So this is really cloud, the way you want to deploy it as a customer, be it the public cloud, the private cloud, or bringing that cloud experience to the edge of the network, wherever that edge may be. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. Customers that want to have data sovereignty, keeping data local because of governmental regulations, better performance, better scalability, better elasticity, all these different options. Again, another first for us around announcing the cloud continuum.
Yeah. So, and one of the things I thought was really interesting that's going on is we've got the new AP 3000 and 3000X. So we've got that on display. And so talk to us a little bit about what we're doing there.
Yeah, we complete the 6E portfolio with our entry-level AP 3000 and 3000X. We have the first Wi-Fi 6 AP with external antennas. We have extended temperature ranges, and it happens to be the greenest AP on the market. 13.9 watts of power, that's all it takes. What a phenomenal solution, and completing that portfolio, huge.
And we're starting to see a lot of traction with Wi-Fi 6E. Talk about, if you can, sort of, what's going to change when this becomes more pervasive? Because I think, we've seen Wi-Fi 6 deployed. We're in sort of the early stages, I'd say, still of 6E. What's going to change?
Well, I think it's really all about the bandwidth, the coverage, the capabilities that we're going to provide. And yes, 6E is getting out there. It takes time, regulations, certifications, different countries, things like that. But it will become pervasive. There's absolutely no doubt. It provides a whole new level of Wi-Fi capabilities.
Yeah, I think that's, having the Wi-Fi pervasive is a fantastic thing because it enables so much. But also one of the things that I thought was interesting is that security has always been an issue. So, we've got some different components out there in the demo hall right now showing how we're providing security to the network. So talk to us a little bit about those types of things as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Security is top of mind for every single customer. There's absolutely no doubt about it. So whether it's network level security, it's wireless security, you name it. The good thing here is that security is part of the solution. So we don't want to bolt security on top. We want to make it part of and integrate it into the orchestration of the network. It just needs to be another thing of the network, not something that you have to put on additional.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, fabric, right? So we've brought fabric all the way to the edge. Fabric is sort of like I think the secret weapon in our product suite, right? It's something that people don't talk about until you start asking them, and then they light up of just how life-changing it's been. So talk a little bit about the fabric to the edge.
Yeah. Another big announcement. We started with fabric in the campus. We went to the campus edge with wired and wireless. Now we've extended it to the branch office with fabric over SD-WAN. So phenomenal technology. The fact that we can take the same exact fabric that you have in your campus and extend it across to all your branches, you're managing as one holistic network. So when we talk about one network, that's really what it is. And it was so easy and it is so simple. We've actually extended the fabric within the engineering network into this hotel. Over the internet connectivity of the hotel, we now have fabric running here in the demo hall.
That's amazing.
I actually have seen tears come to grown men's eyes when they talk about the simplicity of fabric and that one network. We met with a customer recently who said, I get to spend more time with my family because the time I used to have to spend provisioning those things is easy now. And so, we don't talk enough about it, but it really is, just making it really easy for the customer. And I think that's really where you guys have been focused as a product team, is just how do we make it simple? How do we beat the status quo of networking to change the game and make it easy for our customers?
Yeah, absolutely. Fabric is definitely a game changer. Take all those complex protocols, all that complexity of configuration and things like that, zero touch provisioning, one single protocol runs across your entire network, hyper segmentation, it's secure. We can extend it everywhere and anywhere that the customer needs. It is really the way that we create operational efficiency for the customers.
Well, there you have it.
Great.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by, talking to us about some of the things that are on display here at Extreme Connect 2023. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
All right. Well, we are going to go to another video. One of the things about our customers is that some of the most iconic venues are Extreme customers. So let's take a look at that list of iconic venues that are Extreme customers. check out those iconic venues. So one of the things that I had an opportunity to do last night was catch up with one of our really, really important customers here in Berlin, and that was Christian Frommel from Charité, and he was one of our, or Charité was one of our X Factor winners. You want to talk a little bit about what X Factor is?
X Factor is an award that we give to customers each year at Connect who's going above and beyond, pushing our technology to the limits and doing some amazing things. And Charité really fits that mold. So let's look at that interview to see what they had to say about how they're using Extreme.
Absolutely. All right, well, I am here with Christian Frommel. He is the principal architect at Charité University Hospitals Berlin. Thank you so much for joining.
Glad to be here.
All right, well, tell me a little bit about your relationship with Extreme Networks. About how long have you been a customer of Extreme?
We have been a customer since very long years. Before it was Extreme Networks, we were a customer. And so we are 30 years, 35 years, something like that.
Wow, that is a really long time. So tell me, you surely have done a ton of projects over the years, and you probably have a lot going on right now. But what's one major project that you guys have done in the past year or so?
Well, basically most of our network is Extreme based. But the outstanding project in the last year was the deployment of the Fabric architecture within our core backbone and within the central data centers. So yeah, it's the Fabric.
Right, and so that's not a small project, because Charité University Hospitals are a large system of hospitals. I hear that you're supporting something like over 130,000 patients over the.
That's right.
So when you build a network, it's not a small project. These are really big projects.
These are really big projects which have to be done in running state. So we cannot shut down the hospital for just a network outage or something. We have to build it in place to maintain this, the sustainability of the network. It's crucial.
Absolutely, yeah. I like that. We can't shut down the hospital. You cannot, because lives are at stake there. So now you're here at Extreme Connect. You were recently awarded an X Factor award. What is that like?
It's a great pleasure to get this award. Thank you.
Yeah. So the X Factor award is an award that is given to our customers who are doing amazing things with Extreme Networks equipment and our products and our solutions and things like that. Charité has been doing some amazing things. So last question, what is it like having Extreme Connect here in Berlin?
It's a great pleasure. It's very good for us. It's very nice to see all these people coming from all over the world to Berlin. So yeah, it's very nice that the Extreme Connect is happening in Berlin.
All right, well, there we have it. Thank you so much for stopping by, having a conversation, and best of luck in the rest of the conference, all right?
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. All right, well, that was a great video, and then, if I do say so myself.
It was.
We've got Steve Garetta here from Regato. He's the Vice President of Marketing, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the partners that we have joining us here at Extreme Connect. So, Steve, very nice to meet you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Nice to meet you.
Awesome. Well, will you tell us a little bit about Regato? There's maybe some people who may not have heard of Regato, but they need to, right?
Yeah, so Regato, we're a technology partner of Extreme. We provide software that sits on the edge and in the cloud that enables partners and customers to extend their Extreme network to connect sensors and smart devices on the edge to enable new use cases and capabilities in the Internet of Things space.
Give us some examples of where that's being deployed today. Can you walk us through some use cases?
Yeah, so there's a lot of verticals that are interesting right now. Retail is a big one, as the retail experience, shopping, grocery, and the logistics around that is becoming really prevalent. So that's one area that we're seeing a lot of interest in these sensor networks. Logistics, healthcare, there's a lot of traction right now around monitoring vaccines in the cold chain and monitoring patient wearables in hospitals. And then also smart buildings, smart spaces, occupancy, tenant experience, campuses, Those are some of the major areas where we're seeing a lot of interest in using this technology on top of the extreme networks that are already deployed there.
Excellent. Yeah, it's a nice harmonious relationship. One of the deals we recently signed, a large grocer in the U.S. and sensors is a big part of the value proposition there in terms of refrigeration, keeping drugs fresh, keeping meat fresh. Just that technology alone could save these companies thousands, if not millions of dollars a year. So can you just get into the details of how it works and why it's so important in the era that we're living in today?
Yeah, so the reason why this is big, all these customers, these enterprises are being pushed towards compliance and towards automation, right? They want to make it easier for their staff to get the job done. They want to spend less time walking around with clipboards and checking temperature, and they just want to have it automated and create a report. And we can do that with this type of technology. The other thing that we're seeing is a big push in retail. You brought up grocery, towards things like electronic shelf labeling, where prices change, things go on sale, new products come in, and they want to be able to add those. And yet managing 100,000 shelf labels into superstores is really hard to do. So what Rigato has done is create software that can run on the Extreme network that connects those edge devices, monitors their health, makes sure that they're in the right place and doing the right things, and gets that data into the cloud so that the customer can have access to it and actually run their application.
And what it also does, I think, for the customer, the retailer in that case, or the grocer, is that they can then deploy their human assets to more customer facing, right? So they don't have people manually changing prices. I actually did that when I was in high school on the store shelves. It was a painful job. It allows them to sort of redeploy that human capital to then focus on the customer. So it's a win-win for everybody, really.
Yeah, it really is. It makes it so that you can have your staff focus on, customer interaction, customer experiences, helping them with certain, interest in products, and not have to spend time, managing inventory, managing price labels, and checking the refrigerator temperature and checking the doors to make sure that they're all closed. And that's kind of where the future of these retail experiences is going. And I think the Extreme network plus Rigato's technology can help deliver that.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah.
Steve, thanks for joining us.
Thanks
This was
so much.
amazing.
Yeah,
the
this is
technology
fascinating.
is very cool. I got to see the demo downstairs, and I know that people walking by are very impressed with what they're seeing. So thanks for being such a great partner.
Thank you so much for having us. It's been great.
Excellent.
All right, thank you.
All right. Well, speaking of customers and exciting things, we're going to take a quick look at a video of Did You Know? This has been a big part of Ed's talk track, Ed Meyercord's talk track here at the event. If you've walked around, you've seen all the places where Extreme networks are driving connectivity. We're going to take a quick look at France in particular, and where Extreme is powering networks across France. So let's take a quick look.
Man, that's a great video. Just looking at, we're here in Berlin, but to see other countries that are taking advantage of the services and products that Extreme provides.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time you're walking through a place and you don't even know you're touching an Extreme network. And a big part of that and why we're so present is the man sitting next to you right now.
Absolutely. So, our CRO, our Chief Revenue Officer, Joe Vitalone, is here joining us. And I'm so excited to have you here because, with all of these customers here, there's something about trust that, they are willing to make the trips. Some of them thousands and thousands of miles away to come here to Berlin to see what we have to say. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Great. Well, first of all, hi, Ryan. Hi, Amy.
Howdy.
Yeah, just to have this many customers with us here at the show is amazing. You can build a lot of respect over video, but you build trust in person. And so to have 400 plus customers and 50 plus partners all in one room, and the opportunity to interact with them and talk about, the problems that they're trying to solve for their customers. And that's how you build trust, is when you listen to their stories, what they're trying to achieve, the value that they're trying to provide to their customers, and that's where Extreme comes in.
Yeah, I mean, just having been out on the floor and spoken to a lot of these customers, the trust thing comes up, but also it's a true partnership. And so, as the CRO, as sort of that first stop, right, in the relationship with Extreme, what is the philosophy of you and your team as you're starting to make those connections with customers, new customers, existing customers, to build that real partnership feel?
Well, you listen first. You've got 2 ears and 1 mouth, and you use them in that proportion. And if you listen to your partners, you listen to your customers, and you listen to their customers, what they're trying to get from them, that's how you really start to build trust. Then you execute, and you exceed their expectations, and you follow up. So if you do those things in succession, that's when you get a really good bond. You get repeat customers, and you never have to worry about competition anymore, because they turn to you as a partner rather than a customer-vendor relationship. And that's what we're doing here at the show. It's very much a family.
Yeah, one of the things that I was struck by is some of the customers that we have are multi-decades, that they've been with us for so long. And if you think about several decades of being with Extreme, the types of change from a technological standpoint that we have seen with them is staggering.
Yeah, you saw it highlighted today at the show. We've had customers for 25 plus years, and we have some that are brand new, and we have prospects here. They're not customers yet. They're interacting with our customers, and our customers are doing a lot of the selling. So my job is easy at the show. I listen a lot, I watch the interaction, and I learn, and I listen, and then my teams execute later on in the week and throughout the year.
One more question for you, Joe. What are you most excited about from Connect?
Oh, I'm excited about the technology that Nabil and team talked about. I'm excited about our roadmap. I'm excited about following up with all of these customers and all the things that we talked about. And the future is really bright. And as Ed always says, there's never been a better time to be at Extreme, never been a better time to be a customer of Extreme.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for stopping by, giving us your perspective, and helping us put on a wonderful show.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan.
All right. Well, in talking about customers and the trust that they have, one of the things that we need to talk about is the fact that we provide professional services. Mm-hmm. And so to hear not only the fact that we solve problems for our customers or help them solve problems, but we also sit with them in the trenches, if you will, mm-hmm. and really do some professional services work with them. And so let's cut to a video where we hear some of the customers talk about what we've done with them. All right. Well, you've heard it in the words of our customers. You've seen exactly the types of things that we're doing with them.
Yeah, and I think going out on that floor and catching that energy and being able to talk to these customers is such a great validation of why we're here and why we're doing this.
Absolutely. And so speaking of hearing it in the customer's words, Rowan is out there getting real-time reactions. So let's cut back over to Rowan and see who he's found.
I'm back here trying to get some more reactions. I'm here with Terrell. How are you, Terrell?
I'm doing very well this morning. How are you?
I'm great. Tell us who you are, where you've come from, who you work for.
Sure. My name's Terrell Hobbs. I work for the Governor of the Northwest Territories from Northern Canada. So it took me about 20 plus hours in the air to get here.
It's amazing that you made the journey. You're the guy, you're the people that came the furthest, is that right?
Yeah, that's what they tell me. I haven't actually measured it, but that's my claim to fame, I guess.
Tell us what you thought about the session this morning. What did you take away?
I thought it was very interesting, the stuff that they're thinking of from forward technology, where we see ourselves in the future. I think the important takeaway is the future is not necessarily made for us. It's not from the old Terminator line, that we have to make the future what we want it to be. So it's important for us to use technology to get there. And I saw a very reliance on the need to have a good network infrastructure for all those devices, all the sensors that are going to be in the network. So I think it's even more important to have a good, reliable, stable network that is going to be able to provide the backbone for all that intelligence and that smart things that are going to be introduced in all buildings and vehicles and stuff like that.
Now, I can't help asking you, have you got a good, stable network?
Well, we like to think we do. Our biggest problem is that we're in the far remote Northwest Territories. We have like a single provider, sometimes very expensive networks, so we can't have all the redundancy that we'd like to have in there. But with any technology and the more complexities and the security that you have to add to it, it does add to the complexity. We like to think, like I said, we like to think it's robust, but again, it doesn't have the same amount of bandwidth that most places do. We're not able to deliver a lot of the services that everybody wants to do. So it's working with technology that's available and technology that we can afford to build the network as best as we can.
That's awesome. You're doing an amazing job. Thanks for coming to Extreme Connect. Okay, I'm going to hand you back to the studio. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Rowan. And we are here now with Kimberly Bassnight, our Senior Vice President of Talent and HR and our Chief Diversity Officer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, it's my pleasure to be here. It's an exciting time here in Berlin.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that we've talked a lot about throughout this entire show is culture. And so we thought that there is no better person that can speak to Extreme's culture than you.
I was in the leadership session earlier this week, and the thing that we talked about, the thing that makes us special is the culture of Extreme. What's the secret sauce? It's really the fact that we lean into our core values and we live those. It's not just the placard on the wall, but we actually walk out candor and transparency, inclusion, ownership, teamwork, curiosity. So it shows up in the fabric of our company.
It really does. And Kimberly, a lot of the things that we've talked about here in talking with customers is trust keeps coming up, right? Why is Extreme a great partner? We trust them. But that starts from the inside, right? That's built through the culture. So talk a little bit about that, if you may.
Well, let me just talk about the power of trust. We know from science that trust allows us to move faster, make decisions in a quicker fashion. And so as we're building this great culture and as we are leaning into it, we're also building a trust factor at Extreme. We trust each other. We allow that trust then permeates to our customers and to our partners. So I think it's all going back to the foundation of the core values of Extreme and what we stand for.
Agreed. I think another thing that is sort of unsaid, but I need to say it, is, it's been a really tough time to recruit. We know how challenging the job market is in terms of finding good candidates, but you walk around this hotel this week and you just see the talent on display, whether it's the design work or the technology demonstrations. So, you must be so proud of the work you've done to bring such talent into this company. And I know it's been difficult, but, maybe just a few seconds on the talent at Extreme.
So the talent acquisition team, shout out to them. This is a team sport. This is not anything that I was able to do, but we have an amazing team. And I think we have an amazing story at Extreme, which makes the job of an acquisition leader easier, as we can describe this is who Extreme is. So we have a strong story. We have a great culture, and that's a winning combination to bring in great talent.
Yeah, one more question that I'd love to ask you is the fact that diversity and equity and inclusion is absolutely important. So talk to us a little bit about the work that we do internally here at Extreme, but also the partnerships that we're having with our partners as they stand up their own diversity, equity, and inclusion programs.
Absolutely. So first of all, let me brag on the team, because we literally 3 years ago, we had about less than 5% of our company was really leaning into DEI. Now we have nearly 40% of our employees plugged in. That's astronomical. And so that makes me so proud. But let me say, this is not just internal. Now we're taking this show on the road and we're going external, and we're starting to embrace this with our partners. We're looking at bringing in diverse partners. And so we have a pilot program that Demetrius is leading. As we're being very intentional about helping to support diverse partners and just expanding our partnership. So I'm super proud, as you can probably feel it. I'm really proud to be a part of this team.
Excellent.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping by, talking to us about culture, talking about diversity, equity, inclusion, because I think that is fundamental to our success as an organization.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, I have to say this is an amazing event. You've heard me say this about 1,000 times, and we have learned a lot. We've announced a lot. We've had so many people, just reacting and emoting. There was so much energy that I think that what better way than to begin to wrap this whole event up than with a little bit of a party.
Let's do it. Let's see it.
So we've got DJP and some video of DJP, who's been keeping the soundtrack, our hip hop soundtrack for the event going. So let's cut to a video of him just warming up.
Doing his thing.
Gets crushed like clay pots with unlimited flows. Never stay in the same spot. Everything in life's got a place to make back. If you feel it in your heart, reach out like red fox. Baby, hop on board. You don't need your pay stubs in the galaxy bus. We pulling out all style from the Bay to LA, just like the grapevine. Big shout to my man cut chemist and J5. I'm on women in the spot that's making the place pop. The brains for bass, rocking the nation. Good God, go ahead. Say the obvious, legs and tank tops. Yeah, keep on trucking. Yeah, do it the great job. If I ain't on stage, I won't take my playing cards in the burgundy coat, snake boots and black socks on the Barbary coast, playing host the ex-wives, the bubbly flowing cufflinks and fake watch. When I do that damn thing, I do that damn thing, I do that damn thing, I do that damn thing. When I do that damn thing, I do that damn thing, I do that damn thing, I do that damn thing.
Man, I was jamming. I was rocking and rolling here.
I got to tell you, it's made the jet lag a lot easier in the morning to wake up and have DJP spinning some of my favorite tunes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that about wraps it up. I think that for me, the biggest thing is the announcement of Extreme Cloud Edge, and then seeing it and feeling, I don't know if we feel it, but having it run here at the event.
Yep. I think a combination of that, the conversations with customers, just really getting a better understanding of how they're using our technology, how we're changing lives, how we're changing businesses, and how that's going to continue to move forward with some of these new innovations.
Absolutely. And so with that, let's go ahead and cut to a video. Just it wraps up everything that's been going on. And shout out to our crew who's been running behind the scenes. So thank you so much for making this thing possible.